Half of Ray's team is using AI. The other half refuses to touch it. Ray runs plant operations at a mid-sized manufacturer. His younger supervisors have figured out how to cut their shift reporting time in half. His most experienced floor leads, guys with 20-plus years on that floor, think it's a shortcut at best and a threat at worst. Nobody's fighting about it out loud. But the resentment is there, and it's starting to show up in the work. I'm Steve. This is the Blair AI Rollout Podcast. And today we're talking about what to do when your team splits in half over AI. Let's get into it.
Listen to questions.
This week's question comes from Ray, plant operations manager at a mid-sized manufacturer. Ray says, Steve, I've got a real problem. 2 of my shift supervisors have started using AI for reports and scheduling, and honestly, they're doing good work with it. But my most experienced floor leads want nothing to do with it. These are guys who've been running that floor for 20 years, and they know it better than anyone. Now, I'm getting 2 different standards of work out of the same plant, and I can feel the tension building. I don't want to force anyone, but I can't run a plant on 2 standards either. What do I do? This is one of the hardest situations an operations leader can be in right now, and there is no version of it that gets solved with a memo. Let's walk through it. Ray, the first thing I want to say is that your instinct not to force this is right. But I think the situation is slightly different than how you described it. Your floor leads aren't resisting a tool. They're resisting what adopting it might say about them. Think about what this looks like from where they're standing. A guy has been running that floor for 20 years. He knows which machines run hot in the summer. He knows which operator to put on which line on a Monday. He knows things that were never written down anywhere because he learned them the hard way over 2 decades. And now somebody half his age is producing a shift report in a fraction of the time using a tool he's never used. What he hears, even if nobody said it, is that the thing he's best at just got cheaper. That's not stubbornness. That's a completely rational response to feeling like your expertise is being quietly devalued. So when you're thinking about how to close this gap, don't think about it as a technology adoption problem. Think about it as a respect problem, because that's what it actually is. And respect problems don't get solved with training sessions. Now here's the part I want you to be really clear about, Ray. You said you can't run a plant on 2 standards. You're right. But look closely at what you actually have right now. You don't have 2 standards. You have none. Your supervisors using AI are producing fast, clean, consistent reports. Your floor leads are producing reports the way they always have, which, in your own words, is late and uneven and depends on who wrote them. Neither of those is a standard. One is just a tool being used well, and the other is habit. And that matters because it changes what problem you're actually solving. You don't need everyone to feel the same way about AI. You're never going to get that, and you don't need it. What you need is one clear definition of what a good shift report looks like. What has to be in it? How fast it needs to be done? What level of detail? What has to be verified before it goes out? Once that standard exists, the whole conversation changes. Because now the question isn't, are you using AI or not? The question is, does your work meet the bar? And that's a question every single person on your team can answer without it being about who they are. Standard first, tools second, not the other way around. So, who defines that standard? Here's where most operations leaders get this exactly backwards. The instinct is to take the fast, clean reports your AI users are producing and say, this is the new bar, everyone match it. Don't do that. The moment you hold up the AI output as the standard, you've told your floor leads that the tool won and their judgment lost. You'll get compliance if you push hard enough. You will not get buy-in. And on a plant floor, the difference between those 2 things shows up fast. Do the opposite. Put your most experienced floor leads in charge of defining what a good shift report actually looks like. They're the right people for it, and not as a consolation prize. They genuinely know better than anyone what information matters at handoff, what gets missed, what causes problems on the next shift. That knowledge has never been written down anywhere. This is your chance to capture it. Then bring it back to the whole team. Here's our standard. It came from the people who've been doing this longest. How you hit it is up to you. And watch what happens. The supervisors using AI now have a real bar to meet. Not just speed, but completeness and judgment. Some of what they've been producing probably doesn't clear it. And your floor leads just went from being the resistance to being the authority. It's not old versus new anymore, Ray. It's everyone meeting a standard the veterans wrote. That's a very different room to be standing in.
AI hot tip.
Here's this week's AI hot tip. If you got a split on your team, some people using AI, some people not, do not start with a training session. Start with a definition. Pick the one piece of recurring work where the gap is most visible. Shift reports, status updates, customer summaries, whatever it is for you. Then get your most experienced people in a room for 30 minutes and ask them one question. What has to be in this for it to be good? Write down what they say. That's it. That's the whole exercise. You'll walk out with two things you didn't know going in. A real standard for the work, and a group of veterans who now have ownership in it instead of resistance to it. 30 minutes. One question. Start there. 3 things to take with you today. 1. The split on your team isn't about AI. It's about what adopting it seems to say about the people who've been doing the work the longest. That's a respect problem, not a technology problem, and it doesn't get solved with training. 2. You don't have 2 standards. You have none. You don't need everyone to agree about AI. You need one clear definition of what good work looks like. Standard first, tools second. 3. Don't hold up the AI output as the bar. Put your most experienced people in charge of defining it. Now it's not old versus new. It's everyone meeting a standard the veterans wrote. If today's episode hit close to home, if you've got a team that's quietly splitting over this, head over to blairts.com/start. Take the free AI readiness score. It gives you a documented baseline of where your organization actually stands, including how ready your people are, not just your processes. Link is in the show notes. And if you've got a question you're wrestling with, send it to steve@blairts.com. I read every one. Your question could be the next episode. I'm Steve. This is the Blair AI Rollout Podcast. Let's roll this out the right way.